Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. This is very possibly a first time doing yoga, and so I thank you for showing up and giving yourself this opportunity to just improve your overall health, flexibility, strength, vitality, boost your immune system, help relieve anxiety, depression. It's just kind of a really good overall mood booster, along with the physical benefits that you'll see and feel from your practice. So we're going to start just with the basics, just as we should. So we'll start with props first. In the future, obviously, you can skip through this intro part. It's kind of the beautiful thing of having a recorded class, right? Is that you can fast forward, rewind, pause, delete. Maybe don't delete it. But that's kind of the perk. The downside, I guess, would be that I'm not there actually to physically see your body and help to adjust you just in the right way to help you find all the postures. So I want you just to really take time to listen to the cues. I'll kind of go through a couple of the basics so you're not having to crane your head and be like, what is happening? What are we doing? When we are actually going through the class. So we'll have just kind of like this intro period now that, like I said, you can skip forward if you want to do this class again. So let's start with props. You're going to grab a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't, you could lay out like a nice thick beach towel, pareo, something like that would work. Then we're going to go to blankets, cushion, seat support. So go ahead, whatever kind of blanket you might have, and you're going to fold it up so it's nice and cozy. You could even take 2 blankets, or say maybe a pillow or 2 off of your couch, and stack them up. So if you're especially tight in your hips, then you'll want to maybe have a higher thing to sit on. So like I said, maybe 2 blankets stacked up, and then you're just going to put them on your space, and then you're going to sit up on them. And in doing this, I'll turn sideways so you can see. Okay, you don't want to just plop right down on the cushion. I want you to actually scooch forward until you start to just feel your pelvis tilt upright. So imagine your pelvis is a bowl, and you don't want water pouring out the back ever. Okay, you want the water to be held upright. And so you're just going to keep moving until you kind of feel that natural tilt happen, the lower back kind of move in, and everything just kind of aligns. You just kind of feel that like, ah, moment, and your knees drop a little bit lower, and it just gets a little more comfortable. So please make sure that your knees are comfortable. You could always tuck an extra, blanket or 2 cushions underneath your knees if you're feeling any strain there at all. So definitely, throughout your practice, you want to be watching that your knees are happy. Okay, so next we'll go to strap. If you have any kind of strap, or say you have like a tie that you would work, or even just like a little towel like this, something that'll just kind of like be an extension of your arms in certain poses that you may or may not even need it today or ever, we'll see. But it's good to have one nearby just in case, so that you can access. Really, these props are just to help you access the postures in a safe way and just a more comfortable way, yeah? So then next would be if you have yoga bricks, you could grab those. If you don't, maybe you have a couple thick books, or again here you could just like implement like a cushion or something like that, or a pillow. But it's nice if you have something solid that's a little bit thick that you can just kind of use to put your hands on if you can't quite reach the floor in certain postures. Or another use for this could be, instead of pillows under your knees, you could tuck those little supports right underneath there. Okay, so that's kind of just the basic prop breakdown. If you don't have stuff, it's okay. You'll be okay. But for sure, I'm sure you could find at least a blanket or 2, or even there as well, you could use a couple thick beach towels and some sort of towel, little towel. Okay, I think that covers that. And make sure you drink lots of water after, just in case I forget to say that at the end. And make sure that when we practice, we are detoxing. And so we're twisting our body and moving our body and stretching our body in a certain way that is helping to remove toxins. So we want to help that process by flushing out with lots of water and staying hydrated. Okay, so find a comfortable seat right on the edge of that blanket, like I said, and you're going to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it out your mouth. Again, a nice deep breath in. Let it out your mouth. Relax the shoulders, down and back. Feel the low belly just draw in and up in a way that kind of makes your chest lift a little bit higher, crown of the head lift a little bit higher. Feel that your shoulders are right over your hips. Comfortable. And now you'll seal your lips and start to breathe in and out of your nose. So there's a way to breathe, this pranayama breathing practice called Ujjayi that is just really, it's a really helpful tool for me. It just helps me to stay present and to remember to, breathe and use the breath to get in and out of the postures correctly and just find a really nice balance and rhythm and deeper connection to help you stay focused, centered, and ultimately present. And so that is to place this like constriction at the base of the throat. So imagine you're fogging up a mirror, or like you're Darth Vader, but the sound is coming in and out of the nose from the base of the throat. So your lips stay sealed, the breath is coming in and out of the nose through that kind of narrowing of the throat. So see if it works for you. If it doesn't, it's okay. As long as you're breathing, that is key. And just try to find a nice evenness in the breath. Okay, so just staying where you're at. You can blink your eyes open. I just want to encourage you to just kind of keep breathing. Try to stay with that best you can. I'm going to show you just really quick the basic kind of flow part of our sun salutations that we're going to do today, just to break it down for this first one, and then we'll come back to this place and centered and breathing and start our flow. Okay, so again, this is the part that you'll just like fast forward through next time when you don't need kind of the beginning tutorial. So downward facing dog, you can spread your fingers wide. So remember, just watch this time. We're not starting yet. Okay, so you're gonna put space between each of your fingers. You're gonna anchor down through your knuckles and your just your whole fingers. So you want to really just imagine that you're making a really solid handprint on your space. And really the only thing not touching is the very center. There's just a little teeniest bit. Feel almost like you're creating a suction cup. And so that you're not putting all the weight in your wrists when you lift your hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Now press down firm into your index fingers and thumbs. And then the tendency here is to round the back and try to straighten the legs. I can't even do it. Right there, yeah? Is it to kind of be like here. So you want to bend the knees because tight hamstrings are usually an issue here. And then you want to push your hips up so your spine goes straight. So you see the difference there, yeah? So spine straight first, and then you can start to eventually get your heels closer to the ground and the legs a little bit straighter, but without compromising the spine. So then the next thing that tends to happen is that the shoulders just lift into the ears and scrunch up. So you want to wrap the outer arms back and kind of rotate the biceps forward. Okay, so triceps back, wrapping back. Almost like imagine you're trying to make your armpits look at each other. And then you want to relax your head right in between your upper arms. Okay, so then from downward dog, you flow forward to a high plank position, which at any point you can lower your knees down. Your shoulders are right over your wrists. Okay, so our bodies are probably pretty programmed to do a push-up with the elbows pressing out. In yoga, we wrap our elbows back and hug them close to the ribs on the way down, shoulders shifting forward. So the elbows stay close to the body. And then inhale, this is your gentle baby warm up. Baby cobra, you lift the hands off the mat and just use the strength of the spine, and this will help to improve the strength of the spine. Okay, and then you're gonna press into the palms, press back through your knees. Child's pose, hips come back into the heels. Okay, back off if it's too much on your knees. Your forehead rests down on the ground. Knees are separated, big toes touch, extending your arms forward. So extended child's pose. And you can come here to rest anytime you need. It's a really beautiful resting posture. You breathe into your lower back, you feel that. Okay, so then inhale, we'll come forward. Right, and then exhale, lower forward and down. Just one more time. So again, this is with knees off the ground, one solid piece coming down, or you keep your knees down. Now this time, inhale, I'm just gonna show you as we advance on, you'll use some of your arm strength, you'll wrap those elbows in. Please don't lift the shoulders up like this, okay? So that's gonna be the tendency. So you wanna keep your neck long, only lift up as much as your back and your arms say it's okay. And then again, exhale, press back, and tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Okay? So that's just kind of the basic breakdown for that, what they call like the vinyasa portion of your sun salutations. So now, back to our seated, back to our breath, close your eyes. And so as we begin our practice together today, I'm just checking in and noticing how you feel. Without judgment, it's so important that we show up to our mat, that we show up really anytime, anywhere in our life, with no judgment, and not even with any expectation, just to be really open to what is. Right, in your body, your mind, if your mind is feeling a little scattered, or maybe you are feeling anxious or depressed or timid or uncertain, it's all okay. I just want you to notice how you feel. Right? Maybe you feel a little scattered, maybe the mind is kind of whirling. That's why we just tune the attention to the breath. Right? So it's like we're turning down the volume of the mind and turning up the volume of the breath, which will help us hear that quieter internal voice of the heart. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So this is your time right now that you've chosen, this best time right here to start your practice, to start this relationship with yoga, with your body, with your breath, to just kind of tie it all together, to plant this tree, right? This is the seed. So let's just plant it kindly and lovingly, trusting and enjoying. Right? You're here, you chose to be here right now, so can you do it completely, right? And joyfully and gratefully. And guide your hands to your heart center now in a prayer position. Bowing your head in. It's called your Anjali Mudra. Just taking a moment to kind of create your own intention for your practice. Maybe what motivated you to plant this seed to get going. Maybe something that you're working on. Maybe it's patience, self-love, self-worth. See if you can kind of give your practice a greater purpose. That we're really moving with intention, some inspiration. in just a simple warm up now. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Like I said, we'll do a nice little warm up. Exhale, you'll drop your right hand down and then just tip over to the side. So I'm doing mirror image to you for right now. You're gonna open up your chest a bit. We'll just do this simple warm up, and then I will lead you through a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A, and then we'll do a simple cool down, okay? Now when you're ready, you can inhale and come back up, and then exhale over to the other side. You're just bending the bottom elbow any amount that you can. You're kind of rotating the upper arm down toward the ground. So again, that's taking this shoulder area and dropping it away from the ear, keeping it nice and spacious, right? So not this, nice space. And then creating more space by reaching a little bit more. And inhale and coming back up. Good, one more time on each side, flowing just with the breath now. So empty, 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 all the breath. Pull your left hip down into the ground. Again, you're hugging the low belly in and up. And then inhale to come up, breathing nice and full and slow. And exhale over to the other side. So you just get this nice lateral movement for the spine and stretch into the side body. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, right hand goes across to the left knee for a gentle twist. Your left hand slides back behind you. Left shoulder rolls back. And just follow the back shoulder with your gaze. So just look back. And then you may notice that your hips are trying to twist also. So instead, kind of twist them the other way, like pull your right hip back instead of letting your left hip go along for the ride. Just stay nice and anchored in your seat, in your foundation. Good. And inhale through center. And then exhale. So twisting is just so healthy for the spine. This is one of the actions that does help to increase that and detoxifying element of our practice. Kind of rinsing out your organs like a kitchen sponge. And keep lifting up through the chest. So again, I'll say it a lot because it's just a cue, that people need to remember to stay engaged and to stay safe in your body is drawing that low belly in and up, this kind of core awareness and support. Good. And you can keep your right hand behind you now and inhale and just bring your left hand behind you as well. And just gently, your fingertips are on the ground behind you. And you just gently lift your chest up toward the sky. And kind of feel like your shoulder blades are these little hands on your back and they're coming toward each other a little bit and kind of pressing your heart kindly up to the sky. Really nice, just gentle, simple, gentle back bend. Okay, and then from there you're going to start to fold forward. So be really mindful that your knees feel happy here. And come forward any amount. You might be able to get your elbows down. You might hardly come forward. It's okay. Just do what you can do. Right, maybe you can get your forehead all the way down to the ground, or you can kind of stack your fists, give yourself a little extra height to be able to rest your forehead down. Maybe you just let your head hang out. And take one more breath, pulling the breath down into the back of the body. And then from here, just see how it feels to walk your hands over toward the right, bringing your chest over your right knee, and just walk the hands as far away as feels good, relaxing your head down. Again, don't worry, you might be way up here and just barely move over. It's okay, as long as I'm just waiting to feel some awareness and stretch through that lower back, through that side body, the hip. We'll come over to do the other side, so walking the hands through and over to that other side. So making sure that the hips aren't rolling off of your blanket or off of your mat. You want to keep pressing the hips down. Then come back through the center. Okay, and lift back up. So there's just this tendency in our bodies when we say, like cross our arms or cross our legs, that we just always cross it the same one in the front every time. So we're just going to switch it up a little bit and put the other one. It's going to feel awkward, and that's okay. Life is awkward sometimes. And when you're ready, fold forward. And again, making sure the knees are happy. If you need support under there, don't be shy. Checking in again, you just want to keep your jaw relaxed. Try to almost like take the concentration off the face so that all the face muscles are relaxed. You're focused, right? But keep the face muscles soft and just breathe. You come up this time and just walk to the left to start on this side. Over to the left. And same thing, and maybe you can go just a little deeper this time around. Maybe not, that's okay. Right, we're just planting the seed and just eventually be able to grow and go a little bit deeper as you continue with your practice. And just kind of, it's really fun to see, just like it's fun to see when you do plant a seed and you watch it grow. Okay, come through center and over to the other side. It's also fun to see where you're at in your body right now so that, you know, and later this week or next week or, you know, next year or whatever, you are in the posture a lot deeper. You're like, wow, remember when I could only go this far? And coming back to center. So really having some beautiful awareness. Come back up and we will make our way up onto all fours. So at this point you could just move your blanket or whatever out of the way. You have your shoulders over the wrists and your knees under your hips. We'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow. So some flexion and extension out of your spine. Inhale, you'll lift your chest up. The belly kind of slopes toward the ground, but you're still hugging your belly button in. And then you're lifting your seat up to the sky. Kind of pull your chest through, start to lift the heart up. And then on an exhale breath, you round the spine like a cat. And you tuck the chin a lot, tuck the tail a lot, kind of press the floor away from you. And then inhale and come through. Chest lifts, tail lifts. Maybe the gaze lifts slightly. And then exhale around. I'd like you to close your eyes and do 2 more rounds on your own, letting your breath take you on the right. Inhale, and just come to a neutral spine. Whenever you're ready, no rush. You can blink your eyes open if you'd like, or keep them closed. You're going to open your knees a little bit wider now. Big toes touch, and we're going to make our way back into that extended child's pose that I showed you earlier. So hips drop back into the heels, the hands walk forward, and the forehead comes down. And then maybe here you move your head a couple times, side to side, just kind of massage your forehead. Okay, so if you need, you can tuck a brick you can tuck a brick under your seat, but you could tuck a blanket right behind your knees. That can take some pressure off if you need. If your feet or ankles are really tight here, you could always put a blanket in a way that just lets your feet kind of fall off the edge of the blanket so that you're not overstretching. Few more breaths here. Nice long, smooth breaths. Feeling that nice length in the spine, stretch for the lower back. From here, gently lift your hips up. Bring your knees back to hip distance. Walk your hands a little bit forward. Tuck your toes, and we're going to send back. And actually, before we come to downward facing dog, I'd like you to come to a high push-up position, which is called plank. right here, shoulders over wrists, heels over the balls of the feet. Okay, and so from here, then this is the distance that you want your hands to be from your feet as you lift up and back to downward facing dog. So do not keep your legs straight. Remember, bend your knees and push your hips up to the sky. Wrap your outer arms down, biceps toward the front of the room. So again, like you're trying to make your armpits look at one another. Kind of hug the energy of the arms toward each other. So forearms are kind of hugging in. Index fingers pressing down, thumbs pressing down, all the knuckles pressing down. Nice and light on your wrists. Heels making their way toward the mat, but don't straighten your legs if you're not ready to. Keep your spine nice and long. Good weight bearing position here. You get an inverted shape, so get some fresh blood flowing down into the brain. Helps to boost the mood and the memory. Good. Now let's lower the knees down to the ground and just take a rest back into that extended child's pose. So knees can just widen open a little bit and shift your hips back, just getting a little rest in, giving those arms a rest. Slowly, you can just pick your hips back up and tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Now we'll step the feet lightly up to the hands. So again, the knees just bent as much as you need. Just get as far forward as you can. It's okay if you can't make it all the way to the hands. Just get as far forward as you can. And then even more bend in the knees. You're just going to let your belly drop right over your thighs and hold opposite elbows, drop your head. Ragdoll position. Feet are hip distance. So if you're not certain what that is, usually if you just take two fists and put them right there, that's a good way to measure the distance that your feet should be apart. A couple more breaths, letting the weight of the head drop down, help to increase the stretch for your spine. Releasing the hands down, and slowly, maybe even a little more bend in the knees, press your feet down as you roll up. Let your arms dangle, let your head hang, and you're coming up. Shoulders can lift up and roll back as you lift your head up. Good. Mountain position, Tadasana. So your feet are at distance, the shoulders are back, the palms kind of slightly turn forward. The feet are really strong, kind of zipping up your legs. You feel your thighs kind of draw upward, your kneecaps lift upward. You're drawing the low belly in. So it's kind of like you're putting on something tight and you're just zipping everything up, right? And by anchoring those feet down, right, we can feel ourselves kind of lift up a little bit more. Just like the tree grows down, the deeper those roots grow down, right, the more that tree grows up. So mountain pose, Tadasana. So making sure at any point if you feel dizzy, lightheaded, tired, something doesn't feel right, just take a rest in child's pose. Pause for a moment, just take it at your own pace. So I'm going to guide you through a few rounds of our Surya Namaskar A and get the whole body moving, improving our circulation, and all kinds of good stuff. So inhale, reach the arms out and up. You can let your gaze lift slightly as the palms touch at the top. And then exhale, fold down. This is your swan dive. Knees bend any amount. And then on an inhale, so this is your forward fold Uttanasana. You're going to inhale, flat back. Maybe guide your hands up onto your shins so you can pull your chest even farther forward. Flat back. Okay, that's your half forward fold. And then exhale, plant your hands down and step your left foot back. Left foot steps back. Good. Inhale here, exhale. Step your right foot back. Plank position. Knees down or in one piece. Remember those elbows bend in and shoulders come forward. Don't let your elbows go out. Bring yourself down. Untuck the toes. Hands off the floor for this first round or every round if you choose. Lift up into that baby cobra. And then exhale, pressing into the hands. Shift your weight back almost to child's pose, but then right up into your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So throw in a little Sanskrit there for you so you can start to get used to that. Got 2 more rounds of breath here in your downward facing dog. Seeing if your inhale can lift your hips a little higher, arms are straight. Good, really anchoring down through those hands. The exhale, maybe send your heels just a little closer to the floor. You're going to take your gaze forward now. You're going to step your right foot up between your thumbs. However, that might not happen. So just step the foot as far forward as you can. And then if you need to, put your back knee down. Grab that foot. Help it the rest of the way up. Okay? And then come onto your fingertips, or if you have bricks or books or something that you want, you could use those. You're going to lift your back knee up. Good. Step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Inhale to a flat back, sliding the hands up to the shins. And then exhale to fold into your legs. Inhale, reaching your arms out wide, flat back coming up. It takes you through your reverse swan dive. All the way up, maybe the gaze follows fingertips. And then exhale, hands down. Nice work. Inhale, reaching your arms. So that was our first round. Right, leading. Left foot back. This time we'll do the same thing, leading with right foot back. So hands come down. Flat back, Ardha Uttanasana, look up. And then exhale, step your right foot back. Good, and then planting hands, step your left foot back, plank position. Inhale here, exhale, knees down or one piece, elbows back. Let those elbows shave the ribs, come all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra, or maybe now lifting up just a little bit higher, right? Don't let shoulders come up or elbows pop out. Elbows in, shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. So letting your downward facing dog kind of be this remembrance in this kind of check-in time. Am I breathing? Am I aware of my breath? How can the breath assist me here in this position to go a little bit deeper? Low belly is drawing in, your ribs are drawing in. So that's another one we see here where the ribs kind of splay out. You want to zip everything in. And take your gaze forward and just think about that left foot getting up to the thumbs. Get as far as it will go back. And you can come down, help the foot the rest of the way up so that the knee is right under the ankle, or over the ankle, sorry. Okay, tuck your back toes under, knee lifts again. And step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Flat back, inhale. And then exhale to fold. You're reaching arms out wide and coming all the way up. And hands landing softly at the heart. We'll do one more round each side. Inhale, reach arms up. Swan dive down. Flat back, look up. Pull that low belly in, chest forward, long neck. Exhale, hands down, step left foot back. Step right foot back. Plank position. Lower forward and down. Elbows in. Inhale, lifting up into cobra. Shoulder blades drawing toward one another. Strong arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. For one more breath, full contact with those hands on the earth. Light on the wrists. Taking the gaze forward and stepping the right foot up between the thumbs. Maybe the knee lower so you can help the foot the rest of the way through. Back knee lifts if it's down, step to the top of your mat. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, folding. Maybe feeling you can fold just a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, reaching out and up, just slowly feeling the body warm up. Hands to the heart as you exhale. Nice work. Final round. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, flat back. Good. Exhale to step your right foot back. Then your left foot back. Lower forward and down. Inhale, chest lifting. Elbows in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good for one more breath. Get those hips a little higher. Hollow out that low belly. Press the heels down. Take the gaze forward. Step your left foot up. Back knee down to step the rest of the way through as needed. And back knee up. Step to the top. And flat back, look up. Nice work, you guys. Exhale to fold it a little bit deeper. And arms reaching out, come up. Use that low belly lift support. Exhale. Hands coming down to the heart. Very nice work. Tadasana. Drop your hands down. Close your eyes. Just again, notice how you feel. No judgments. Just breath washing over you. Awareness washing over you. Maybe some warmth washing over you. And then blink your eyes open gently. We're going to take a balancing posture before we make our way down to just do a little cool down. So stepping onto your right foot will come into tree pose. Why not? We're here planting these trees today, right? We're planting these seeds. So step into the right foot nice and firm, and you're going to bring your left knee up. So if you need, you could come to a wall or a little window ledge or something, even a chair for support. But otherwise, you're going to bring that knee. I like to squeeze the knee into the chest first just to start to open up that hip a bit. And then you're going to take the knee out to the side. Grab onto the ankle and put the foot right on the inner thigh. Please do not put the foot on the knee. If it won't go there, take the foot lower onto the leg. Okay? And then press the leg and the foot firm into one another and bring your hands up toward your heart. And try to draw that left knee back a little bit without turning the hips. So keep the hip points facing forward and just try to open that knee out so you're opening up the hip. Now, if you feel steady, so you're keeping your gaze steady on one unmoving point in front of you. And then if you would like to, maybe those branches grow. And again, feel. The more you press that right foot down, the more you're going to lift upward toward the sky. It's so amazing. But the shoulders aren't lifting to the ears. And kind of wrapping those triceps forward. Nice work, you guys. Let's bring the left knee in and then drop it down. Hands landing at the heart. And just wiggle the fingers and walk it out a little bit. Okay, we'll do the other side. So remember, I forgot to say this on the first side, but hopefully you knew that if you fall, try again. That's all. Just step into the left foot. Right knee comes up when you're ready. So keep the left kneecap drawing up. Really keep your quadriceps engaged. Open that right knee out to the side, placing the foot on that inner thigh, not on the knee. Thank you. Your body thanks you. And then just finding that balance. So just like the hands are equally pressing together here to keep them right centered at the heart, not over here, not over here. Whoops, make myself lose my balance. Same thing with the feet, pressing to midline. Foot and the leg pressing toward one another. Maybe your branches grow. Maybe you're a swaying, wobbly tree. That's all right. As long as you're breathing. So you're holding the posture, not your breath. Don't forget. Yeah, left leg is strong. Left foot presses down. Grow even taller. And back to center. Hands down, foot down. Nice work. Shake it out. So important to practice balance. Keep our ankles nice and strong. Keep ourselves centered. Come to the top of your mat if you're not already. Inhale, reach your arms up and just float our way down toward the mat. So exhale, folding forward. This time I want you to grab your peace fingers with your or take your peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Inhale to lift the chest as far as it will go. Low belly and ribs in. Exhale, folding. A little bend in the knees if you need. And kind of pull up on those big toes and draw the elbows out. So again, the shoulders are not dumping into the neck. And you're just folding in as much as you can. Pouring some love into the spine, into the hamstrings, lower back. Good. And releasing your toes. Nice work. Inhale, looking up, and then exhale to step back. Plank position. Good. One more round, you're going to lower forward and down. Inhaling to that cobra, just feeling a little more warm, a little more used to it maybe. And then exhale to child's pose. Letting the knees open a little wider, big toes touch. Cramp on my foot. Okay, from here, just come up and you're going to just stick yourself over to one side and swing your feet out in front of you. So those blankets that you started sitting at the beginning of class, you may want to grab now and sit your bum right there on the edge again, pelvic bowl upright. Taking the feet forward, hip distance, inhale, arms up. You might want to grab your strap if you're using one. Exhale, fold down. Okay, so what tends to happen here is we round the spine, the pelvis dumps back, and it looks like this, and we're just like, I just want to touch my toes. So making sure pelvic bowl upright, right? Chest nice and lifted, and just leaning forward any amount that you can. If you need to bend your knees, if your hamstrings are really, really tight, you go ahead and do that. If you need to lasso your feet, so you've got something to hold on to, go ahead and do that. Don't force anything. Close your eyes and just be where you are, which is right here on your mat, practicing yoga, improving flexibility. And so forward folding, so just calming, nourishing for the nervous system. So see if you can just kind of tap into that sensation as we breathe a few more breaths here. Can you just relax? When you inhale, you feel length, space being created. And then when you exhale, can you relax in just a little bit deeper? You might be able just to drop just like millimeter by millimeter, breath by breath, a little bit deeper into your forward fold. So you're not pulling aggressively, right? Your feet are flexed. You're kind of sliding your kneecaps up, engaging your quads if you can, so you can lengthen the backs of the legs even more. So Paschimottanasana is the name of this position. Intense west-facing stretch. So the west is, the back of the body is considered the west. And so this is intense west-facing posture, intense back body stretch. So again, you feel it in your hamstrings as well, and maybe even into your calves, backs and knees, all the way up through that lower back, in the back. And when you're ready, inhale and come up. Good, and then we'll exhale and bend the right knee and step it to the outside of your left leg. Okay? Then you're going to take your right hand back behind you, left arm reaches up, nice deep twist, hook the elbow, and rotate. So just like we did that little twist at the beginning of class, now we're getting in there deeper. We've got this leverage of the right elbow on the outside of that left leg that helps us to be able to rotate those ribs around even more. Looking toward your back shoulder, and using that back hand like a little kickstand to keep you up, so you're not leaning back onto that hand. Lift up through the crown of the head. Take another inhale, lift up taller. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And inhale, just feeling that sense of a refresh as you unwind. And then exhale, we'll switch sides, stepping the left foot outside of the right knee. Right foot stays flexed. Right arm reaches out. Exhale, hook the elbow, twist. Right, just like we talked about in that seated twist at the beginning, make sure those hips stay nice and rooted, right in place, right where they are, and then use that elbow, use that leverage to rotate even more. Really feel that That low belly again draws in and up, and then those ribs can rotate around. The gaze is just gently following the back shoulder. The left hip is ever so slightly pulling forward and staying planted. Good. Inhale, come back through the center, and then exhale, unwind that. We're going to make our way down onto our backs now. Good. So when you're ready, cross your right ankle over your left knee to thread the needle. And then you're going to bring your, or into your figure four stretch, sorry. And then you're going to take your right hand into that little puka, that little triangle right there, and your left hand around to hold the back of the knee. So if that's not happening in your body, you could take your strap or your towel. Maybe that makes it a little more accessible. You're just pulling the left knee in as close toward your left shoulder as you can. Your right foot stays flexed to support your knee. Right? And then as your left knee comes toward you, your right knee is pulling away from your right shoulder. And then keep the backs of the hips on the ground here. So don't let them round up, and don't be straining your head or shoulders like this. Yeah, so that's where you would use your straps. You can keep your head down, shoulders down, comfortable. Just want you to go right to that edge where you feel a nice solid stretch on the outer right hip. So this is a good, this is kind of your modifying pose if, when you're ever doing pigeon and it's not okay for your knee. It's going to help to target that same area of the hip, that piriformis. Okay, one more breath. Relax your jaw. Just take it right to where your hip says, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. And then release that left foot down. Right foot down and cross your left. Good. And bring the right knee into the chest. Good. So maybe this is your tighter side. Maybe this is your more open side. Whatever it is, just be with it. And adjust accordingly. Yeah. You can hold it underneath the knee, or if it's more comfortable to hold over the top, like on the shin, that works too. Right knee is drawing toward right shoulder. Left knee is gently, just kind of actively pulling away from the left shoulder. Backs of the hips on the ground. Shoulders, jaw, neck, relax. A few more breaths here. Release that right foot down. Good. And release the left foot down. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take your arms out to T. You can roll the palms open if that feels good. We're just going to take the knees up and over toward the right elbow and gently let the knees relax onto the ground. Let the feet relax onto the ground and drop your head over to the left. So if your right shoulder lifted away from the floor, scooch just a little bit over toward the right with your upper body. Or if either shoulder, sorry, it might have been your left shoulder that was lifted. And even still here, if your left shoulder is lifted, see if you could press your right shoulder into the ground a little bit more, and that might help to anchor that left shoulder. Close your eyes. If your knees didn't comfortably want to go to the floor, you could always catch them with a blanket, one of your props there. Just a nice, relaxing supine twist, helping to kind of bring everything back into alignment, back into proper place. Final rinse. Nice release for the back. And bring your knees back up. Good, and we'll go ahead and go to the other side. Knees forward toward the left. Maybe adjust a little bit, scooching the shoulder slightly to the left. Maybe pressing that left shoulder a little bit more into the floor so right shoulder comes down, and then maybe turning head toward the right. Close your eyes. Just enjoy how it feels, how literally, here to each breath, you can just feel yourself relaxing into it a little bit more. Just kind of feel your body adjusting to the shape, kind of accepting the shape, enjoying the shape. Bring your head back to center. Bring your knees back up. Once again, hug your knees into your chest and just rock a little bit side to side, feeling everything just fall into place. You're going to come into happy baby, so you may need a strap for this one. You're going to open your knees about as wide as your armpits, and then you're going to lift your ankles up so they're stacked over the knees, the feet are flexed. And then you're just going to try to grab onto your big toes or maybe the edges of your feet and start to bring your knees down to the ground. So what happens here, right, is the hips just try to round off the ground. You want to keep the backs of the hips down and just bring those knees down toward the floor any amount that you can without the hips lifting up, okay? So you want to really feel that low belly draw in. You're going to feel the hips just press down into the ground. Right, so if you're using a strap, right, you're here. And don't worry, if you're here, you're holding a strap and your legs are shaking like crazy. It's okay, it's totally normal. The hips are typically very tight. So breathing into your hips, your inner thighs, doing your best to relax. If it feels good, you could try rocking a couple times side to side. Coming to stillness if you're rocking, releasing the feet, hugging the knees into the chest. Round the forehead up to the knees, just curling up into a tight little ball. And then relax the head down and take your legs out. We're going to come into your resting position, Shavasana. So in your Shavasana, if you're feeling any tugging on your low back at all, you could take one of your blankets or towels and just quick roll it up and place it underneath the backs of the knees. Okay. And then you could also take a blanket and place it over the top of your hips. It's kind of a nice relaxing weight to have there, nice and grounding. So if you need to do anything to get comfortable, please do so. And then let your feet be about mat distance apart. Drop your pinky toes open. Adjust your shoulders underneath you so that they're comfortable. You can even adjust your hips a couple times side to side so the low back is happy. Arms are off to the sides, palms facing up. Take a nice deep breath in here. Breathe out your mouth and just drop your body into the floor. Just for these next few minutes, allowing yourself to completely relax. Just guide you through a gentle relaxation to help you rest deeper, especially if you're not as familiar with just laying and being still. Just to help you to stay here and not get carried away in the mind. So as I bring your attention to each part of the body, just relax that part of the body and do your best to keep it relaxed. And relax your toes, bottoms of the feet, tops of the feet, ankles. Relax the lower legs, knees. Relax the upper legs and then the seat. Relax the hips, the lower back. Relax the belly, the ribs, the middle back. Relax the chest, upper back. Just relaxing the shoulders. That relaxation pour down to the upper arm, elbows, lower arm, backs of the hands, palms of the hands, fingertips. Relax the neck, jaw, tongue, teeth, lips. Relax the nose, cheek, ears. Relax the eyes, eyeballs, eyelids, eyebrows. Relax the space between the eyebrows. Relax the forehead. Relax the scalp, the brain, even the hair. Top of the head, back of the head. Whole body completely relaxed. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Taking a nice deep inhale, slow soft exhale. Starting to move your fingers, toes. If it feels good, you can reach your arms overhead, a long body stretch, just fingertip to toe tip, like you're just waking up. And you can curl your knees into your chest, roll over to your right side. Just super cozy, comfy fetal position. Your head can be pillowed on that right arm. Not being in a rush to get up, to be anywhere else. Just to enjoy this moment. So relaxed. And use your left hand to start to press up. Keep your head relaxed, let it come up last. Maybe even keep the eyes closed as you come to a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana, your easy pose. And if it's not feeling so easy, sit up on the edge of a blanket. Just take a moment with your hands in your lap, on your knee. Just noticing, without judgment, how you feel. Physically, emotionally, energetically, even spiritually, how do you feel? And I hope you feel a deeper connection to the entirety of your being, appreciating, feeling your essence. Bring your hands to your heart center, bowing your head in, and thanking yourself for planting this seed today, and the opportunity for this tree to grow. Remembering the intention that you set for yourself and for this practice today. Remembering it's always a good time to plant a new seed. And so thank you for doing that with me today. I appreciate you choosing to do that with me. So namaste, we end our practice. Namaste, light and love within me honors and sees the light and love within each and every one of you. And so we say namaste. And thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to message anytime if you guys have questions or, anything at all. I'm here. And if you did enjoy class and you'd like to support me, I do accept Venmo at Leah-Distad. And you can also subscribe and like, and I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you practicing yoga. Aloha.